I was the most insecure girl in the world. Somebody who would literally saran wrap my stomach with like oils and creams and serums that I would buy on Amazon when I was like 15 years old because they were supposed to like burn your fat away. And I would like sleep with my stomach saran wrapped
Wow.
and go through all these measures to try and change something about myself to be loved.
Welcome one, welcome all. You know what we do here. This is the Speak Your Vision podcast, your space for everything empowerment. Once again, I am your host, Tariq Williams, and not only I am Vision of Hope, but we, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are Vision of Hope, everyone. So let's get right into it. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about change. Today, we're going to talk a bit about new beginnings. Today, we're going to talk about taking next steps. And who better to have with me, the host of talking about life after high school, adulting 101, all things children and youth and transition age when it comes to education, my friend, business coach, all things, all the above, everyone, Miss Eden Gold. Thank you for joining me today.
I am so excited to be here with you, Tariq. There's absolutely nowhere else I would rather be. So I'm excited for this conversation.
Let's get it. Let's get it, Eden. And I've been talking a lot about priorities on the podcast recently, Eden. And when I think about your journey and the business that you've created and the speaking engagements that you have, it's nothing less than just a plethora of all different types of information. So I want to thank you for the work that you do.
Oh, I appreciate that. I mean, I really do it for the person I used to be because there's so many people like the little girl that I used to be. And if I can help them overcome some of those steps, those challenges they're going through now with a little bit more ease and more confidence and quite frankly, more fun,
Hmm.
then that's why I do it. So they can do better, be more earlier in life. Like, what's more beautiful than that for the future leaders of our entire country, right?
Yeah, yeah. So when you say you do what you do, when you speak empowerment into people, and I know I'm getting off track here a little bit, but when you talk about delivering power and empowering people to the person who you used to be, in this episode, we're talking a lot about getting to the next chapter of your life and what that looks like. And I'm going to get to my one word question here in a little bit, but tell me, who is the person you used to be and who are you now?
The person who I used to be was somebody who had absolutely no moral understanding of mindset and how mindset played a role in every single physical, any kind of physical pain I ever went through. There was no concept of a mind body connection, which sounds like a word that's thrown out by a lot of people these days, but I didn't understand the severity of how what I was experiencing physically, which is we're talking eating disorders, self-harm, the how lethargic I would feel and fatigued from doing terrible, terrible things to my body, really all had a common denominator of how I felt about myself and wanting to be loved and feeling like the only way to be loved was by looking for a way to be society's perception of beauty and perfection and whatever.
Mhm.
So that's who I used to be, super insecure. Like I could have told you I was the most insecure girl in the world. Somebody who would literally saran wrap my stomach with like oils and creams and serums that I would buy on Amazon when I was like 15 years old because they were supposed to like burn your fat away. And I would like sleep with my stomach saran wrapped
Wow.
and go through all these measures to try and change something about myself to be loved. But who I am now is realizing that we can't live our lives to please other people, not a parent, not a spouse, nobody, because that's a recipe for burnout. It's a recipe for never being fulfilled because you're always trying to change based on who someone wants you to be. And at the end of the day, whether it sounds selfish or not, you are living for yourself. So that's what's different is a newly found confidence. And I'm living for myself. I'm loving for myself. And I am the most important thing in my life, regardless.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And big shout out to the Prioritize You workbook that I recently came out with. You have to prioritize you. And the fact of the matter is, people say, common quote, nobody's perfect, right? People always say that, right, Eden?
Yes.
But here's what's missing there. Nobody's perfect. However, comma, you're perfectly you. You are literally the perfect version of you. And in order to get to the next level, in order to embrace that change, which is what we talked about last time I had you on the podcast, it's so important to embrace your authentic version of yourself and recognize that you're perfectly you and that you have the opportunity to grow your mindset every single day.
Right. Because if you're perfectly you, whatever you're going through right now, it's not a black and white thing. You're either perfect or you're not. But whatever it is that you're going through is exactly what you're supposed to be going through. And it's for a reason. The whole life happens to you or for you, not to you kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It's the lesson you had to learn to get to where you want to be.
You had to, and the universe would not put into your life something it didn't think you could handle. Granted, some people, they don't handle it. We see suicide rates going up, crazy, crazy stuff happening. Nonetheless, the universe knew that you could get through it. So it put that in your path. And now you have to do with that what you can to overcome that and reach that next level because it's always going to be brighter when you keep on keeping on.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about keeping on and entering next levels in your life and getting to a different place in your life, let's get to our discussion here today. So when we are talking about next chapters, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a strong believer in this quote. When you want something different in your life, you have to do something different. You have to actually do something different if you want something different in your life. So when you hear that quote, what's one word that you think about?
Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. Okay, tell me why. Talk to me.
I'll say this. It is impossible to get somebody, including yourself, to change what they do without first, or how they think, without first changing how they feel. So that includes yourself. So if you want something you've never had and have to do something you've never done, you're not going to do that other thing unless you first feel differently about what that other thing is. Let me give you an example.
Please.
If back in my days of struggling with body image and an eating disorder, I told myself many times, I want to be skinny just because that's what will make people like me, get me a boyfriend. Like, I don't know what it was at the time. Nonetheless, it was not compelling enough for me to have an emotional drive to get it. And that's why, regardless of how desperate I was, it never worked. And I always fell short. I had the wrong mindset towards it. But when I had a goal in mind, doing something I've never done, the other thing that I wanted to do, when I felt so compelled and so passionate and evoked that emotion out of me because of how great I envisioned the other side being, that's when I was finally able to change my path and had that clear tunnel vision to doing it. Because I connected so deeply with that goal. And it was a goal for myself, not for other people to like me. That's not a real goal that's going to get you far. It's not going to get you out of bed every day forever. You're going to realize you're always going to fall short. It wasn't until I had a goal that was so clear to me that would be the driving force for me changing my life for the better that I was able to have that tunnel vision, if that makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the world. So then, as you talk about this tunnel vision and getting to where you want to be, truly paint the picture for the audience here today, Eden. Okay, how did you go from insecure girl to now
Mhm.
amazing speaker and business owner?
So we were talking about how life puts things in our paths for a reason.
Mhm.
I grew up my whole life since I was a baby wanting to be a vet. And when I got to college, I went to vet tech school. Now, I was only in college for a year before I dropped out because I was too sick battling with my eating disorder and I couldn't continue. Not only that, I realized I wasn't very passionate about being in vet tech school and I was just completely shocked. So my whole life sort of took a turn when I dropped out because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing I'm clear on right now is that I need to recover from my eating disorder. That's it. Then, shortly after that, my house burned down in a wildfire.
Wow.
And what the universe put in my path was a path of a lot of drug use, um, drinking a lot of alcohol, uh, starving myself, binging, purging, and all of that. So even though I wanted to heal and I started maybe looking into different diets and different things I could do, I still had to keep on a path because it wasn't an overnight shift. But as I started doing a little bit of research on like diets and health, I stumbled upon this ad on a YouTube video for IIN, which is the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And it was a health coaching program. So I was like, I have to do this. I don't want to be a health coach, but I have to heal my relationship with food. And it just felt like it was calling to me and speaking to me because I felt so emotionally compelled to heal from my eating disorder so I could feel healthy and be healthy. And some people might think, okay, well, that's not something you did. You just stumbled upon an ad. Like, what's that mean for me? It means that when I felt emotionally compelled to change for a reason greater than myself, for the greater purpose of my life, doors started opening. I started aligning myself with what I wanted, and what we focus on becomes our reality. So when I started focusing on health, even though I was god awful at it, like I tried every diet in the world, and that's no way for somebody with an eating disorder to heal. Like the goal is no diet, right? Regardless, because my energy was in the right place, something was bound to be found in my path that gave me a little bit more insight and a little bit more and a little bit more. And when the universe puts a thought in our head for the greater good of our lives, it's no accident. I'm
Mm.
not talking about intrusive thoughts because my intrusive thought said starve yourself. That's not a thought the universe put in your head for the greater good of your life.
Mm.
When I saw that ad on YouTube, I felt spiritually aligned. So I signed up for this year-long program, journaled the whole entire time, got my license as a health coach, completely healed my relationship with food without the help of a single therapist. I suffered, for lack of a better word, for 10 years and I recovered in 10 months. And I was like, this is so wildly profound
Yeah.
that not only are even more doors opening, like, what else can I accomplish? But then I looked back at my younger self and I was like, man, all these years of school and no one taught me a single thing about any of this. There has got to be another young adult out there going through what I'm going through, which I know is true because sometimes I would go throw up in the bathroom and already find throw up around the bathroom, like seat.
Wow.
And I told myself, no, there's no way. Because we always think we're alone in our suffering. So I didn't know somebody else might be suffering. But looking back, after my year of schooling, I was like, I have to do something about this. And many struggles happened along the way, but that ignited it when I was aligned with something greater than myself.
You know, Eden, I want to go back to something that you said way before. You said something about your journey that it was not an overnight shift.
Hmm.
And one of the big themes that I've talked a lot about here on the podcast is that I give facts, I give harsh reality. You
Hmm.
want your change tomorrow. Unfortunately, you can't get it in 2 days. Your change, your transformation is not Amazon Prime. So unfortunately, it will not get to your doorstep in 2 days. And when you talk about that tunnel vision that you had to take and really find things that were in alignment and recognizing that you deserve more for your life and that spiritual connection that you were having, you recognize that transformation was out there for you.
I did. And we have to shift our mindset from immediate gratification to the long-term benefit. Discipline. Discipline is sacrificing the immediate benefit for the long-term gain. And we don't always recognize that when we're young. So we have to develop the habit of setting it and forgetting it. I'm going to start this thing because my future is looking so damn bright. And I have an ebook I can give whoever listens to this podcast too, the science behind visualization and how visualizing will help you get to your goal faster.
Mm,
It's an actual thing, believe it or not. And so I can give that to your audience if you want to put it in the show notes or whatever.
please.
Um, and I just had to keep chipping away at this goal. And what's helped me is I've developed this overwhelming knowing that regardless of what happens to me in my life, the universe has a plan. Whatever pain, struggle, trauma, even if I hate it, it really isn't as bad as I think that it is because I understand, oh, I'm supposed to go through this. And while I may not recognize the lesson, all I have to do is keep on keeping on. That's literally it. And your mindset shifting around that concept alone will give you the answers because we are a lot smarter than we give ourselves credit for.
Come on.
We walk around thinking that we're freaking idiots. We're not. You guys have a lot of the answers that you're looking for already in your head. So if we can change our perspective, even if we don't believe it at first, answers will start to show themselves all around.
Not only are you smarter than what you think you are, you're stronger than what you think you are too.
Amen, brother.
You know,
Amen.
you know, and this life and a lot of times the people around you will put you down or say that you can't do something because they can't.
Can I
Don't
tell you?
don't put your limits on me. Because you can't do something does not mean that I can't. When I became blind, I thought my life was over, not only because I had not known any other blind people, but there were some people who believed in me because they knew me, but we weren't sure what next was going to look like. So how would I possibly know what next was going to look like? But with
Mhm.
those people who supported me and who were there for me, and me just thinking about it more mindset wise and recognize that I was still the same person, I was like, we're going to figure this out. I'm Tariq Williams. We're gonna figure this out. It didn't make any sense at first, and I can't pretend to understand like why certain things happen. But what I do know, similar to you, Eden, what I learned going through my different traumas, blindness only being one of them, I can take the lessons that I learned from that and deliver empowerment to more and more people.
Absolutely. And you know what the biggest thing that holds us back is, even if we want change? It's the fear of being an outcast. We all ultimately crave human connection and fitting in. But let me tell you something, the only fears that a baby is born with is the fear of falling down and the fear of loud noises. So I say go out there and be the outcast. Let me tell you something really quick. I have this deck of question cards to like get to know people, and I've been making a lot of new friends lately. And one of the questions I asked two different people is what what is the most unfamiliar to you about me? And both of them said your confidence. Like my confidence is unfamiliar or odd to them. And they didn't mean it in a bad way, but I sort of walk around embodying such confidence, even though I don't always internally feel it, but I know that it's there and I know that's who I am. And I want to be the person, the best version of myself at all times.
Mm.
And when I see other people sort of dealing with insecurities and mental health stuff and whatever, they look at a person like me and they're like, while I really want that, like I can't relate. And if I try to relate or try to go on this path, it's like deterring too far from the normalcy I've always known or I've known for years. And then I'm an outcast. And I don't know if I can deal with that. Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. You know, I didn't want to use my cane or look blind by any means when I was in high school because I didn't want to look different than anybody else. I wanted to fit in, right? But as I went into college, I started embracing my authenticity, my authentic self. And I think that was truly when I started to get to know me a bit better. And as I'm thinking about college and you are listening to Eden's story, Eden, it's so neat talking to you because even though our paths in life have been so different,
A little
we
bit.
we are in alignment in a lot of different ways. And ultimately understanding the importance of mindset. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So when I met Eden, I was like, you know what? We have to connect. We have to work together in some capacity. And we mentioned college a few times here on the podcast because when we're entering college and entering school, entering a new chapter in your life, what happens is sometimes there's fear, sometimes there's excitement, sometimes when you're there, not all the pieces come together the way that we would hope.
Mhm.
And this is a problem that Eden and I recognized. So Eden and I were like, we recognize the problem. Eden and I are problem solvers. We're both mindset coaches, and we're going to bring you the solutions to make sure we're getting the most out of it. And we talked earlier about when it comes to school and college and different things, sometimes you're not learning all the things that you need to learn when you talk about that mind body connection. And so Eden and I recognize this and we created our own membership program called College Happy Hour. So,
Woo!
so Eden, do you want to get people started and tell them about what we created?
College Happy Hour. We are so excited about College Happy Hour. It's a membership site that we've put our hearts and our souls into, and it's for college age students and a tool to not only bring us all together with like-minded stories and life journeys and situations under the categories of like growing up and adulthood. But the goal is to equip college age students with essential tools, resources, and the community support that they need to navigate adulthood with more confidence, more ease, and to be happier while doing it. Right. So, a one stop hub for learning, growth, connection, tailored specifically to the unique challenges and opportunities that are faced by young adults. Because I know for me and you, we grow up not knowing anything, even though our parents, maybe they tried to teach us some stuff, but maybe they didn't know what to teach us. We have our own lessons to learn. So here we are, confused, lost, maybe so scavenging through the internet for an answer.
Right.
Oh, well, let me tell you, Tariq and I have the answer. And we have the answer because we've spent the past 4 years interviewing hundreds of high school students, college students, and busy young professionals. And we found themes in their most common problems, where the education system let them down, where therapy has let them down, how much they paid for therapy for it to let them down, what they loved about therapy, what they wish was taught, like all of these things. And so I'm here to tell you, any college age student out there, your problems, they're not unique. It's nothing we haven't heard before. There's very common themes. So our goal was to take these common issues, put them all in a hub in the form of blogs, exclusive blogs, videos, episodes, checklists, cheat sheets, live Q&As. So all of your answers are in a one-stop shop, like College Happy Hour.
College happy hour, let's go. We're every hour's happy hour because we're bringing
Every
the
hour.
energy, we're bringing the resources. And,
Yep.
real quick, I just want to say this this isn't to say, right? There are some amazing teachers out there that have done some great work, okay? There are some amazing therapists out there that have done some great work, right? What Eden and I have created is, and anybody going through mental health issues and need help, we truly both we suggest you find help, right? And we want you all to know though that we're here for you as well. When you're going through that transition in your life and what it looks like to take that powerful next step, what it looks like, when Eden and Tariq, we tell you, take a couple steps back and let's take 10 steps forward. What it looks like to make those jumps. And we truly have thought about and found different ways to create this blueprint of success, with our different college careers and things that we've accomplished, and what has worked, what has worked and what hasn't. We've done a lot of different things. So we're here for your questions. We're here to give answers. We're here to really create a community, because one thing that you said before, Eden, is that a lot of times people feel alone.
Mhm.
And in our membership, College Happy Hour for college age students or individuals looking to take those next steps in their life, you never have to feel alone.
Absolutely. We feel like we're the only one going through whatever it is we're going through. And it's so weird, and we don't want to be ostracized again. We don't want to be left out, so we don't say anything. Little do we know, and I know this because I've spoken to hundreds of high school students and college students, and I get them all like being real with each other. And then you realize the person that's been sitting next to you in class this whole time, oh, they're depressed too. They're struggling with depression or anxiety too. Oh, they're failing, a class too, and it's getting to them. Oh, their dad's an alcoholic too. It sucks to say, but it's there. So when we can break down those barriers and all come together, we realize that we are a lot more alike than we are different, and there's nothing more powerful than unity.
College Happy Hour, everyone, where we break barriers and build bridges. Let's go. I just made that up on the spot.
Hey, is that our slogan? Oh,
you
is that
know,
our slogan?
it just came up right now, break barriers, build bridges. Because ultimately, it's about building that community, having a
Yeah.
friend, and connecting with others and then learning some things that you maybe should be learning in your college or high school classes that nobody's telling you. And we've learned those things, Eden and I, and we're here to give you that information. So that's what we're all about. That's what we're all about here. That's what we're all about.
Yep, that's what we're all about. We hope that you guys check it out. We're here to welcome you with open arms and answer any questions you have. So,
So when you think, Eden, about your life and the person you are used to be, the person you are now, and I'm gonna give one word here for this as well, okay? So the person who you used to be, the person who you are now, what's one word when people sign up for this membership program? What's one word you guarantee that they're gonna leave with?
mm, unstoppable. Because when we realize the answers are at our fingertips, I can give you all the information in the world. It doesn't matter. Do the work, or don't do the work. But when you realize how readily available the information is, and how the only thing stopping you is your mind, it doesn't matter how fast or slow you work. What is fast and slow? It's different. It's individuality. It doesn't matter. But you know that it's possible. And when you know it's possible, regardless of what happens or how fast or slow it is, you are
And
unstoppable.
the one word that I have, Eden, is proof. See, the thing is, you're listening right now. You sign up for the program. You take that leap to sign up and spend your $20 a month. All right, you take that, but ultimately, the word proof comes to mind because we know you have something going on. You're entering school, but you feel like there's doubts, there's anxiety, there's things that you're worried about along the way, right?
Mhm.
In this program, Eden and I will have conversations with you, but we already know that you can do it. But what we're going to do is instill the mindset in you so that you have the proof along the way.
Mhm.
Let's go. Let's go.
LFG. Let's
Let's go.
go.
Eden, it's always a pleasure talking with you. Eden, the workshop, that is August 20th, 5 p.m., right?
August 20th, 5 p.m. 3 essential habits to master to thrive this semester.
Let's
It's
go.
back to school. It's proven strategies that have been proven time and time again. And if you show up live, we might have a few insane gifts for you just for being there, just
Let's
for
go.
coming to hang out.
Let's go. Let's go. August 20th, 5 p.m. Pacific. More information down below. Check out both of our Instagrams. They'll be linked in the podcast here. All different types of information. We want to give as much as we possibly can to give that value so you could transform your life. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Once again,
Let's
unstoppable.
go.
Nothing's going to stop you. Eden, last word.
Last words are nothing. I was gonna say the only thing stopping you is you, but you know what? Nothing's stopping you now. So take action while you have the momentum, and let's keep that momentum going, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Eden, always a pleasure. And I appreciate you really sharing your story with us today. I learned some new things about you today. I didn't
Oh,
realize the things that you were going through. And I've heard you talk about your eating disorder a bit in the past, but not to this capacity and that insecure. And I think it really connects with a lot of people because once again, like we've been saying before in the common theme, a lot of times we think we're the only person going through it, but
mhm.
ultimately we're all going through something.
So the last thing I'll actually say is, so I was struggling, right?
Mhm.
I decided I want to change, become a better version of myself, and learn some things, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And when the path started opening and I found Institute for Integrative Nutrition, that was a formula that was calling to me, that I felt like I believed in. And all I had to do was commit and do the work. They had the checklist, they had the videos, they had it all. And when I felt like I had a community, then I was able to succeed. Then my 10 years of struggle, after 10 months of hard work and failures along the way, I can finally say that I am a recovered person from my eating disorder. And I was able to move on to starting my own company because I found a community that I felt called to. So if you feel like you just want to learn more, like no pressure, right? Learn more information or become a better version of yourself, more organized, less stressed, whatever it is, more productive, better mental health, consider joining us to just to learn and see if you can commit to something, to your best self. I'll put it that way.
That's the best. I was gonna finish the sentence for you. Commit to you. Commit to
Commit to
you.
you.
And for my listeners, once again, you know what we do here on the Speak Your Vision podcast. Not only I am Vision of Hope, but we are Vision of Hope. This is a we thing here. We are a community here. Hope you all check out College Happy Hour. And you know my favorite quote here, everybody. Potential is only unachieved greatness. So let's take the action and be great. Let's get it. Thanks for joining.
Let's go. Anytime.